when one identifies with a certain culture, with a certain religion, with a certain way of practicing things based on their surrounding, then the prejudices of that which he or she has identified with becomes his or her own prejudices. So let's say, for example, it's a culture. Then what that culture hates become the hate of this individual. The moment one identifies with a certain religion, let's say, for example, Christianity, then the things that Christians hate becomes his personal hates. So his prejudices are dictated by the culture, by the religion, by society that has conditioned him or her. So one becomes a reflection, kind of a representative or an expression of that culture which he or she identifies with. So when you identify with, for example, the Kamba culture or the Kamba norms, then the Kamba ways turn and become your ways. So what the Kambas hate, you hate. What the Kambas love, you love. So when you identified with a certain culture, then the perception of that culture becomes your perception. The things that that culture hates, the things that that culture calls taboos, they'll turn and become your taboos. You'll become a copy. You'll become an expression of that which you identify with. This might be culture. This might be religion. So let's say, for example, you are identified with the Buddhist religion. Then what the Buddhists practice will turn into your practices. So one will lose his or her sovereignty and replace it by the norms of that culture, of that religion, of that way of life he or she has subscribed to. And remember, this is through indoctrination and through learning. So one is exposed to a certain society, a certain culture, a certain religion, and he sees how they do their things, and he imitates or she imitates. And their hates become his hates, their likes becomes his likes, their story becomes his story, their belief becomes his beliefs, their practices becomes his practices. So he identifies with that which he has learned, with that which was before he was born, with that which he found his elders practicing. So when one identifies with these things, these cultures, religions, traditional norms, one becomes enslaved and becomes a servant. His physical form becomes a servant of that religion, that culture, that tradition, and so his physical form acts, thinks in the service of this culture, religion, and traditions. So that's how that's the relationship between a human being and cultures and norms and things that he acquires in this world. These are careers, these are ways of doing things, these are his norms. All these are dictated by the societal norms that he finds and follows and identifies with. So until next time, peace.